Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Bite Podcast with Raven and Ree. I'm your host, Raven,
And I'm your host, Ree.
and this is episode 24.
I think so.
24. So we're getting up there in the
We're getting up
episode.
there.
And for those of you that don't know, we actually did an extra episode this month. Last week we normally don't post, we do every other, like alternating weeks. So we posted our life and death review last week, so go check that out if you haven't, because it was a great episode.
I love that one. That one was fun.
Mm-hmm. Um, so the past 2 weeks, I've been moving to my new apartment, so I haven't done like a lot of, I haven't really been on social media a lot. So I don't have like a lot of screenshots of things that I would want to share. Except for this. Hold on. So this is the one thing that I have screenshotted that I think that we can talk about. So someone on TikTok made a video and said that they were very the one aspect about Jasper that they disliked, besides the fact that he's a Confederate soldier, was that he has been with the Cullens for like over 50 years, but he still has trouble controlling his hunger. she
Yeah.
was like she was like why, like he's been there with for 50 years, like that's a long time. But then someone commented, I think it's it's still very difficult for him because he feels his hunger and the rest of the Cullens hunger on top of it.
That is true. I never thought about that.
Yeah, right. Like you never
Yeah.
thought that that's why he was. That's
Yeah.
wild.
Because on top of the fact that, he was with the newborn army and he I think, is the Cullen that the longest was on human blood. So it's harder for him to do the transition from human blood to animal blood. And then, like that person pointed out, you have all the other Cullens. So yeah,
He
that
feels
is.
their hunger. That's
Mm-hmm.
wild.
Ooh,
I never thought about that. And I think um and he also someone also said, I don't think it's just his own. It's also not only the Cullens, but if like at the cafeteria or like being in a school, I could see how that like is troubling for him. But then also I didn't think about it, but in that moment where Bella did cut herself cut herself in New Moon, obviously like that first drop of blood was like, oh shit, right? But then
yeah,
imagine how it felt for Edward, like what, because he had to control himself. But if Jasper was feeling what Edward was feeling, it makes sense to why he like literally wanted to
yeah.
like kill Bella in that moment.
That definitely just opens my eyes because I remember always whenever ever I rewatch or reread New Moon, I'm always all like, one little tiny paper cut did that to you. But then when Bella was like bleeding in the ballet studio, it's
Hmm.
like, and when we read Midnight Sun, we find out that they were all holding their breath, so then they could not smell.
Hmm.
So then, the one tiny droplet of blood, that's all it took in New Moon.
Yeah, so I thought that that was an interesting thing. I think her thing, the girl who made the video, I think their issue was like the timeline. A lot of people have an issue with the timeline of Twilight.
Yeah, I think we discussed that when we were talking about like Bella's pregnancy.
Hmm.
Um, there's just some inconsistencies with the timeline.
Yeah, and then also like with her and Edward, their relationship progressed really quickly. Even though it seems like, oh, it takes years and years and years, but it doesn't. It's like a year and a half it's a quick time. So that was something that, but maybe we can maybe someone asked a question like that in our video. So a couple of weeks ago, Ree and I had the idea to make a video um on TikTok asking people that if they had like a one-on-one with Stephenie Meyer and could ask her anything, even if it was, you know, a little controversial, if they could ask her anything, what would they ask her? And we got a good amount of responses. I love when we do videos like that because I think they get a lot of engagement, and I love it. I love hearing what other people have to say or what other people would ask, because sometimes they have similar opinions or like similar questions to what we have.
Sorry, I was just gonna get my guide because there are some questions I remember that you could answer a little bit with the guide.
Hmm. All right. Well, let's get into, and then we had to put a little disclaimer on our on our
Yeah.
TikTok because I was like, as a clarification, Stephenie's not coming on the podcast today. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, she I don't know if she I feel like we are maybe a little too controversial. Like we've talked about some pretty like things that are a little anti Stephenie, but we'll see. Maybe in the future.
Maybe she'll see it that way. I see it as being, critical reader.
Yeah. But some people,
Yeah.
I mean, people do get protective of their work. So who knows, right?
Yeah.
But okay, so the first question we have is from Tasha dot Twilighter on TikTok. I love her. She's very interactive and like on all of our stuff. She's great.
Yes,
So
I love her Instagram.
so she asked, why did you let Bella forgive Edward so quickly and easily in New Moon? If it was me, I would have made him wait at least a day. And
I
then
agree, Tasha.
she said, he lied and left for 6 months. This has been driving me crazy for years. It's like, don't just forgive him like that, is what Tasha said. And I also see, I get that.
I get that. And also because of the new moon outtake where, Edward sends Bella that money and she's so angry and she like throws it or she donates it or something. It would make sense. You see her anger with that. So it's like why wasn't she more angry when um
Yeah.
back?
Yeah, I think she definitely should have given him cold shoulder or something because they were together how long before he left? Her birthday's in September. They
Her
met,
birthday's in September. They met January, didn't they? They met in January, but everything happened. Was it their like spring just before their spring? It was like the spring dance, just after the spring dance. So I think everything would have happened because I remember after the whole ordeal with the like Tyler's van, it was a whole month before they had even spoken to each other,
mhm.
and their relationship took a while. So I would say like they didn't start actually become a couple till like April, May.
Yeah, so then that's only not a lot of time for them even being
Yeah.
together. And then he's gone for 6 months and he comes back and she's perfectly okay with it.
See, I think the reason, okay, now I think the reason why Bella is kind of like why she forgave him so quickly is because of the fact that, her whole life she's taking care of her mom. She's now taking care of Charlie, and Edward's like the first person to ever like show her affection and to do things for her that like make her feel comforting. And, she was infatuated with him, and then like she couldn't live without him because they like I guess, they would probably be mates, you would say, because of how it affected her and how it affected him. And, like, how, like, if you're away from your soulmate for so long, it
Hmm.
hurts. Probably that's why it took her quick to forgive him because it's all like, I don't care. It's like, you're here now
Hmm.
and work toward the future instead of having a grudge against the past. Maybe that's her way of thinking.
Yeah, it's almost similar to like people who like break up for years and years and years and then they like find see each other again and then it's like the spark is still there. So it's probably something similar to that. But I think it's definitely I think it's just part of Bella's character. Like she is only a simp for Edward Cullen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, wow, great question, Tasha. Thank you for asking. So the next is Nicole or Nickel Pickle on TikTok. Her question was, what was her purpose for those cameos in the movie? So why did
I
Stephenie
love this question.
make cameos in movies? So she only made them in, it was Twilight and Breaking Dawn.
Yeah.
I
She
mean,
could have made, oh my God, like, yeah, it was just those two, but she could have easily made more.
it would have been so funny. I'm trying to think like in New Moon, like she could have been like what?
See, if New Moon, the movie, would have included Bella at her job, then maybe Stephenie could have been a customer.
Oh, that would have been, yeah. That and then the Eclipse, she could have been like
Graduation.
graduation, yeah, like a guest at the graduation. Breaking Down Part Two. Well, that one's I feel like is a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, because they kind of, the entire movie, it's at the Cullen's house.
Maybe a guest at their restaurant when she went to go meet up with the guy for the passports.
Mm, yes.
I think Stephenie should have had more cameos.
She, she could have been like Stanley and how he had all his little Marvel cameos just for 2 seconds. Like, come on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
I
don't know.
think,
I was gonna say, I think if I had when we have a book and if we turn it into a movie, I would definitely want us to make cameos. Like
oh yeah,
as a creature in one of the other worlds, like just badass. Like
yeah. Or someone they go to for help for like a split second, or I'm just like a standby who like is just caught in the crossfire. That's
yeah.
See, we got to do that. Make it to where someone would want to make our thing into a movie or a TV
Yeah.
show.
So I guess to answer her question, because what was her purpose? I guess there was no purpose for it. I guess it's just to be there.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it really was 3 seconds. I mean, I didn't even know for the longest time that because I mean I had never seen Stephenie Meyer before until probably like 2016, so I didn't even know that was her in those cameos until
Mm.
years later. Now, if she was in a lot of them, I'd have been like if she was in every movie, I'd be like, huh, she looks really familiar. I wonder like if she's important to the story.
Yeah, I think definitely I think if there was one movie that like if she was like if they told her you could only make a cameo in one movie and that's it, I would definitely would have think that it would be the wedding cameo. I mean
Yeah,
that one was iconic and I think that was the best
yeah,
one.
I really like that one because it's all like author to character, and I mean, I have my opinions about Stephenie, and then like with Twilight, but I mean that part just right in the gut.
I wonder because we all know that 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 Bella is basically Stephenie, right? Like it's not like a it's
Yeah,
but
reader
I
insert.
wonder if because Stephenie Meyer is married, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
wonder if her wedding was anything like Edward and Bella's wedding. Like, was it outdoors? What kind of like if the dress she wore was it similar? Very curious.
Yeah, yeah, and like I know Stephenie is very into like the classics, and she also likes vintage things, and like Bella, she liked vintage things, and she read the classics.
Mm.
So it's like a lot of
So,
her personality is um Stephenie. So yeah, that'd be a dope wedding.
yeah, it makes me wonder like if she had a wedding that was similar to Bella and Edwards, or if she like that was like her dream, like if that's something that she would want herself, like the description of it.
Yeah.
Who knows? Okay, do you want to go ahead and ask the next question?
Okay. I'm not gonna say the word because I don't want us to get like in trouble. But Emmy Wash, which is Emily, she said why dot 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 why resume and keyword.
And
Um,
basically why Renesmee and Jacob.
yeah. So, and I think we have a lot of. I guess we could just answer this because I know there's like 3, 4 others that are like the same.
Mm-hmm.
So, why?
Why? I think
I
the most basic answer is it's a plot device.
It's a plot device. She didn't want Jacob to end up alone. She wanted Ed. I saw something on Instagram, and I think it's already like because my Instagram like refreshes after I close off the app for like a little bit. But I saw something that like said why was Renesmee and the Jacob thing necessary, and it said so Jacob wasn't alone, and then it gave it was the reason why Bella and Rosalie like became friends and got close. Edward finally realized what he like wanted in life that he never thought, and it brought him happiness.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason for you know the tribe and the Cullens having like a long-term truce, and it gave way for you know other hybrids that were in hiding to not be in hiding. So that's what some an Instagram post said. So
Yeah, I mean, and that's all part of the plot and the plot device. So basically it's a plot device. I think that it was a way to maybe save her ass a little bit, Like, oh shoot, what am I gonna do? Because the wolves want to kill the baby, but they can't kill the baby because that would ruin like so it was definitely a plot device. I think but I do think that maybe in the Renesmee book that she's gonna put out, I think maybe um Renesmee will not end up with Jacob.
I really hope so. Um, I kind of have like I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion, but I'd actually like I started thinking about this because my friend Clarissa, who's also a big Twilight fan, and we'll talk about it every now and then. She told me that she liked the story with Bella being pregnant. However, she kind of thinks that Renesmee shouldn't have like made it. Like she thought that the whole like the conflict between like Bella and Edward with like their marriage and then how like the Cullens were and like Bella she thought like and I kind of agree like I think it was a cool concept with her being pregnant but I don't think Renesmee should have like lived like I don't think you get what I'm saying.
Hmm.
Bella would still like die in childbirth and that led her to become a vampire but I don't think Renesmee should have lived.
Yeah. I think that would have been I think if Bella had died in childbirth and then woke up as a vampire and found out that Renesmee did not survive or did not live, I think she would have like rebelled or done some crazy shit.
Yeah, I think it would have made an interesting like subplot with Breaking Dawn rather than what Breaking Dawn ended up being.
Yeah, that would have been an
So
interesting thing. That's true. But yeah, we did get a lot of those questions like why Jacob and Renesmee or why did you make a wolf fall in love with a baby? Um we got a lot of those questions. And I think that's going to be the number one question forever probably. Is like why did you have to include that?
yeah,
I guess the world will never know unless Stephenie comes out and says to herself like it was just a plot device. It's not whatever.
yeah,
I think we will see her opinion on the imprinting or what she thinks about it or what exactly she wants to do with that when she comes out with the new Renesmee book.
yeah.
So we will see.
We shall see.
All right, so the next question is by Brie Marie on TikTok. She asked, when is she going to pay the Quileute tribe the money she owes them for exploiting them and their stories?
Period.
Yeah. Um, and I don't want to be a devil's advocate, but we don't really know if she has. I don't know if the tribe has came out and said that she hasn't or what exactly. I do know that her using the Quileute tribe was kind of like a last minute decision for her. from what I've read about that is that she knew she wanted it to be in Forks. She knew that there had to be some kind of like enemy or whatever, and then she just so happened to realize that there was a reservation close to Forks, and then actually the Quileute tribe actually does have a legend that they are descendants from wolves. So
Yeah.
it seemed like it just kind of fell into her lap, and she kind of
Yeah.
just used it. I think personally she probably should have chosen a different name.
Yeah, she shouldn't have used the actual tribe. Um she could have just really just made it a group of people that lived close to Forks that the Cullens just had a standing with that was like history. She didn't have and like not make it known that, it was a real tribe because I mean and then also it's like we find out with like Forever Dawn that they were never actually supposed to like be a big part in the series. They just
Hmm.
became because Stephenie had ended up her publishers wanted her to continue the story with 3 books. But if Twilight had just been a standalone or they had the Forever Dawn sequel and just that, then who knows? It could have been a different way of how we looked at things.
Yeah, and I think I think it was really, if she did, she should have like maybe just named it something that started with a Q. I don't think she had to use the actual tribe's name. Like for I know like
Yeah.
for our book, we do have a tribe, but they're not Native American.
Yeah.
They're kind of like for more like his story, like back in the day. They're not, so,
Yeah.
and it's not a real tribe name because
Yeah.
you want to avoid that as possible because I mean, like they're real people, and like I don't know, like people romanticize like certain things about, and so when you add like an actual tribe that people are romanticizing in a way because it's like, oh, they're gonna equate the tribe to Twilight, the tribe to werewolves, the tribe to these hot men that we saw shirtless on a TV screen when that's not their real life.
Yeah.
So I think she definitely missed the mark on that one. I think she could have still used a tribe. I don't think she had to use a real name. They could have, like you said, they could have just been a group of people that lived close by. She didn't have to name a tribe. Like she could have came up with one. It's not that hard to come up with one. Like,
Yeah. I mean, you see it with a lot of like fantasy and mythological groups where you have a group of people. They have like and they're like a family, and it's left at that. So
mm,
yeah. Um. So again, like you said, we don't know if Stephanie actually has donated. Maybe she I mean, maybe she has, but she doesn't want to make it public because of whatever she feels. Um, so I mean, that's the best we can really say is we don't know if she has because I mean, that's yeah.
yeah. And she's never really spoken about any of this publicly. And I don't know if maybe that's something that's maybe a little touchy for her or something. But I do know that the
Yeah.
director of New Moon tried to like incorporate them and stuff. Like he was in contact with a lot of the elders, and I do know that he was gifted like this drum from one of the children in the Quileute tribe, and they actually put it in the movie. It's at Emily's
Yeah.
house. It's like on the wall hanging. So I think that, I mean, there was effort definitely on that director's part to kind of like help and incorporate, but I don't know if it was definitely, I don't know if that was received across the board.
Yeah. So,
And I know the Quileute tribe also don't like people kind of like doing things on their behalf or saying things on um like kind of speaking for them, I guess you can say. So I
yeah.
don't know if they've ever came out and said that Stephenie didn't say anything. I do know that they don't like being um associated, I think, with Twilight. I
Yeah.
don't know. I do know though. For the Forever Twilight and Forks Festival, they have there. I think on the schedule of events there was like a powwow or something happening.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they I think the res has actually just announced that they will be opening up soon. So, and they posted on like their Instagram about like no Cullens are welcome. Um so yeah.
I think I think they maybe I don't know. I guess we will never know unless they come out and say something, you know. But
Yeah.
I don't know. But I guess that's also something that's a little. I guess we'll never know unless someone comes out and says something.
Yeah.
So you can ask the
Oh,
next one.
okay, Doug. So next is B1 Sexual Slug.
I think
I
it's
love that name.
bisexual slug.
Bisexual Slug. Oh my god. I was all like, oh. Um, well, y'all see my boo boo right there. They asked, I would ask her if Leah is ever going to get a girlfriend or imprint on a girl. Um, and I I want this to happen. I want
Hmm.
this to happen. Yeah. Someone did point out in the comments to their question saying probably not because of her religious views. I've read that she does not support the LGBTQ plus community. Um, so
Yeah, I don't know if that's something that she's ever said publicly. I think maybe it's assumed because she is Mormon or was Mormon. She's never really commented
yeah,
much on her religion after the fact, I guess.
yeah. I know
But
Stephenie was bullied off Twitter in 2010, and she has refrained from social media. Like she has Fickle Fish Films, but that's like her team who post on her behalf. The only time
mhm.
she ever dates her like website is when it says like from Stephenie. So I guess this, yeah, like you said, it's kind of assumed, but we don't know where her stance is. So
Yeah, I think also I think that's what everyone wants is everyone wants Leah to imprint, and then I think everyone also wants Leah to be in the LBG LGBTQ plus, you know.
yeah,
I can see it maybe happening. I think with the direction that she's gone after writing this series, like with all the spin-off books and everything, it seems like she's kind of being more open, like in Midnight Sun, you know. So maybe I think it's a possibility.
yeah,
But then
yeah,
also like we do know that Leah was in a relationship with Sam.
yeah.
So I don't know.
So who knows where her sexuality lies? I can only hope that she does give Leah like a happy ending. I want Leah to be happy, and if, yeah,
Yeah, I want Leah to be happy. I want her to have babies. Who knows if that's possible? We don't know. But I think it'd be a great ending for her.
yeah.
Okay, next question from Serena Orr. Who would Edward pick if he had to pick between Rigatoni and Bella or Renesmee and Bella?
I think Bella. I really I think especially because of his reaction when she got pregnant and how he like was like, how could I love it if it killed you?
Mhm.
So yeah,
I think
and
I think he would choose Bella. Um and the reason I think that he would choose Bella is because let's say that there was like a fight, right? And it came down to like between Renesmee and Bella. I think he would save Bella, but only because there would be Jacob to save Renesmee. That's kind of his
Yeah.
job, right? It's like to protect her. So
Yeah.
that's why I think he would choose Bella. Great.
Yep. Okay, so X Freckled Babe 19X asked, why didn't we get a book solely on Carlisle and Esme, Alice and Jasper, or even Rosalie and Emmett? Those would have been amazing books. I agree, Freckled Babe 19. I think those would have been amazing books. And personally, I do feel like Stephenie made her background characters more interesting than her main characters when she was first writing. Of course, now looking at Edward's view with Midnight Sun, I have more like love and respect for Bella. But I think she wasn't anticipating her background characters to get well liked. She probably didn't think that they would be more popular. So
Yeah, and I think she also purposely made them like not like made them to not be likable, you know?
yeah,
Except for
yeah,
Emmett and Alice. But like Jasper, he's problematic. Rosalie was a bitch or whatever.
yeah.
Carlisle and Esme were like amazing, right? But um I think that the reason that we didn't get those books is probably because she didn't want to be like a one trick pony type of person. You know, she's already done her like little spin-offs here and there. And then she has her other series that she's doing. I don't know if we'll ever get a book. I think it'd be cool to get one on them that's like maybe the same size as like the Brie Tanner one.
Yeah. Like each one have their own, or if she wanted to write like a bigger book, have it like stories, like have it each have their own section with like telling their life.
Yeah, because I think something that a lot of people want is like a prequel to Twilight. Like
Yeah.
a story leading up to like that moment, that very day, you know? Like how they all end up like we know how they end up getting together, but we don't know like the stories of things that like happen throughout the years. Like we don't know a lot of like the ins and outs. We just like assume a lot of it. And I think that that would be interesting, even if it was like a prequel that was like set, like each chapter was like a different, like Alice had one, Jasper, whatever, and it's like from their point of view, and eventually they all mesh up to where they're like all together. And I think that'd be nice.
That'd be nice. Cullen family history. I also would want a book on the Volturi because I think the Volturi, they have over, a millennium of history in how they controlled the vampire world. And I think that would be so interesting to explore.
Yeah, that would be too. Though I mean, I think yeah, just like one big ass prequel book, give it to us, Stephanie. That's what we want. And I think like a
Oh,
little
one.
follow-up is from Mrs. Punk Ransom is what will Bella and Edward do now? So they want a sequel. uh
Yeah. What do you think they're doing now?
I think they're just living their life, you know? I think that Bella probably went to college um and like to do study like English or something like that, like literature.
Yeah.
I think that her and Edward were not going to get married again. I think they're one marriage type of thing. I feel like
Yeah.
Jasper and Alice probably got married again.
Maybe.
Emmett and Rosalie probably. I said Emily because I was just thinking about the gender bend. I said that her name should have been Emily instead.
Emily.
Um, yeah, that Emmett and Rosalie. I feel like honestly, I think that they would have maybe separated a little bit to like to be husband and wife. Like we see that Edward and Bella are living on their own. I think that maybe they would have broken up and done their own thing for a couple years or something.
Yeah.
Not gone
Yeah.
back to school.
Yeah. Probably like maybe they would have like taken Renesmee and moved somewhere so then she can get like a new experience somewhere. Um as like a family. If Bella was, see, okay, because like Bella, she's physically 18. I could totally see her as like being an English professor, like you say, like that. Or what if Bella literally wrote books based on her life and made it publish them under a pseudonym?
Like Stephenie Meyer. I don't know. Did we cracked the code? So actually, Renesmee, if we were thinking about today's room, Renesmee would be 15 years old. So and so she's short. She's short 2 ways. Shy of 2 years to being forever 17. Because that was like when they stopped. Oh no, it's 7 was when they stopped growing. When they reach full maturity. So
Mm-hmm.
she's like an adult. She looks like she's probably 18. So I think
Yeah.
that she's probably enrolled in a high school somewhere in Alaska, probably, or
Or London. London doesn't get a lot, or New York,
yeah,
somewhere in
there.
Canada. I think that's what I'm most excited for. Okay, like though I have like opinions with Renesmee and Jacob book, I think I am most excited to see like where Bella and Edward are now.
Hmm.
I was like, okay, at least give me a lot of Bella and Edward.
I have a feeling that that they're when she writes a book that they're all gonna live together. I think that like Edward, Bella, and Renesmee will live in their like little house, like that's right by the Cullens. But all the Cullens are probably still gonna live together. I don't know if they'll be in Forks though. That's the They probably will not be. But then I'm interested to see like how like Charlie and
Or it is set in Forks, but it's decades after the events of Twilight, meaning they come back to Forks.
mhm.
Maybe it's Charlie is old and Bella wanted to be in Forks for when he eventually goes.
I can see
So,
that. Who knows?
because
I am kind of excited for like for the book to come out whenever it does. Even though people are like, "Ugh, it's Jacob." Well, everyone keeps saying Jacob Renesmee, but the last time she had said it was just Renesmee, but I think people are assuming that it's like about I think it'll be in there, but that I'm most excited for that one because I really want to know like what is everyone up to? Like what's going on? What's going to be the drama, the tea? So,
hmm
mm, what will Bella and Edward do now? We'll find out. We will find out.
we will find
That's
out.
inevitable.
Um, Kristen's side bitch, I love that, said I would ask her if there was ever a chance of Bella and Alice being together. Now, I think Stephenie would say no. Cause no, she always wrote Bella and Edward to be endgame. Now, I would want her to I would personally on top of that be like, did you mean to make Bella and Alice seem like they were a little too close for comfort at times? Like,
Well,
did you
see,
really?
and she even did that in Life and Death with Archie and Bo. Archie was a little, I mean, Archie gave me vibes?
He did. I mean, Alice kissed Bella's cheek the first time they like actually like met, and it's like,
I think I would say no, there's probably never a chance that they're going to be together, but I'd like to think that with the changing times, because right now they're kind of still they're in like 2000, they're still in the 2000s where the book took place. So that's kind of where they are stuck forever. But I think like over time, maybe with the evolving world, that Alice and Bella probably definitely did go to a pride parade together
yeah,
and pretend to be a gay couple
yeah,
just for fun. And you know that
yeah.
Alice would come with outfits. And
Oh
Bella
yes,
Bella would wear just like a little pin, a sticker, maybe, something really subtle. But
yeah.
I think Alice, Bella, and Emmett all went to Pride. Probably
Oh yeah.
And you know, Emmett is showing up in like the shorts,
The
like
full
pride,
getup.
yeah, full get up.
He's got the flag tied to him as like a cape.
Hmm. Yeah, so and they're not going to the parade in daytime, but they're showing up like
For
sundown
the night
time, yeah,
celebration.
the night celebration, the fun times. So there's probably not a chance of them being together, but they definitely, I think, so, I think celebrate Pride for sure. Okay, so Joanna asked, my question would be, will there be a part in the new book on how Bella reacts when Charlie and Renee die, or her friends if her friends ever find out about them? Um, I think that there probably would be a I think there probably would be a reaction to how to Charlie or Renee dying. We kind of see that in Life and Death. We kind of see, that
Yeah.
grieving, that loss, um, of not being able to see the parents again.
Yeah.
But that was Bo, and I'm very
That
interested
was Bo.
to see because Bella has had a different progression, like character progression than Bo, obviously, because there was a different ending.
Yeah.
But and then also like they introduced Charlie into Renesmee's life.
Yeah. So, and I mean, like Bella didn't see Charlie a lot growing up, but then when she moved there, and then the fact that Stephenie did allow Bella to continue having Charlie in her life, it definitely could have, you know, I mean, I especially like watching the movies and like how my favorite part in like Breaking Dawn Part One is when Bella and Edward are about to leave the honeymoon, and Bella goes up to Charlie and like pumps him on the shoulder, like "Dad," and it looks like they're both about to cry, and I'm like,
Hmm.
that question hits because I really think Bella would be devastated. Like if she, even though she can't physically cry, I can see her like going in the woods and probably screaming.
Throwing some shit, throwing like punching some trees.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um and then I don't know if her friends would ever find out about them. I think if there was any of her friends to ever figure it out, it would be Angela probably.
Yeah.
That's what the person said in the comments. They said they replied because that would be a good plot. Like Bella finds out either Renee or Charlie died, and turns out it was a vampire, and she's looking for revenge. That'd be an interesting plot. Because being vampires, because I feel like Angela would be the one to find out. By the way, love this podcast so much. Thank you guys. So
Oh,
thank you, Joanna. Oh, so nice.
I'm happy you love it.
Um. But yeah, I think that would be a really interesting story. But I don't know if we would get that in a Renee book, in the Renesmee book, because I think it is going to be very much geared towards Renesmee and her story. And I don't think
Yeah.
we're not going to get much of like the inside of Bella and Edward's mind or whatever. So,
Yeah.
but it'll be interesting to see. I'm very curious to see where this Renesmee book kind of goes. And does it open the door to new books or
That's what I want to know. I'm just trying to look for something for the next question whenever you're
oh
ready.
yes, because this is the theory that we had, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'll read the question. So the question is from Huntress 8D. They said, what happened to Freaky Fred? And also, why did she decide to spawn a child? Why couldn't she let them be without said child? Which I think we answered already. It was kind of a plot. Renesmee is a plot device. Um, but why? What happened to Freaky Fred? And a while ago, I think when we were doing our Midnight Sun review, or we were doing something, we talked about that possibly the Renesmee book, the villain would be Freaky Fred.
Yeah. I mean, Stephenie did confirm that Freaky Fred was supposed to make an appearance. But we didn't know why. The last thing that the guide has on Fred is that Fred is one of three newborns who survived the rest of the coven's demise. He went on to become a solitary nomad because in Bree Tanner, Fred and two others escape from the army, but Bree goes back to find Diego, but not knowing that Riley already killed him. And Fred was waiting for her in Canada. So, and Fred has the ability to make people feel repulsed by him, which is kind of like a camouflage. So, yeah, I think it was in one of our theories. We think Fred is going to be the antagonist since he is supposed to make an appearance.
And I've always said that what I want is that Fred comes back, bites Charlie, Charlie turns into a vampire, then he's like in the vampire life, and then um and yeah, I don't know. That's just what I want to happen. But I do think, I mean, he probably will end up being in the next book. So we'll figure that out.
I'm
That
excited to see that.
the next one is not a question, but just a statement that they want an Alice book, and we talked about that. I think that would be a good one to have too. So,
Then Lorenz Hayes said, "Why does she fight so hard to exclude Black people from her books and films?" Which is the real tea right there. And someone had said, "I can answer you that. I can answer that for you with one word." And then they had responded to them saying, "So can I, but I want to hear what she has to say. Honestly, you can only use the vampires are pale card so many times." And then they replied again, "It's effervescence, fluorescence." I love that name.
mhm.
Said, had replied saying, "She'll find some excuse. Miss Girl likes to make shit up on the spot about Twilight," which is kind of true. Um, so this is also a touchy subject that I don't think Stephenie would probably answer. Honestly, I think she would avoid the question or like make up an excuse.
Yeah, I think yeah, that is definitely a hard thing because I think there's no, I mean, there's no explanation for it, you know. Um I think there should have. I don't see why there shouldn't be. I think just like I think that probably like there should be vampires of all shades, different shades, and there should be other mythical creatures of all different shapes and sizes and colors and whatever. Um
Yeah.
and I think that the only thing that we can really do as like a fandom is to like recognize that we know that that is wrong and
Yeah.
find ways to like talk about it, bring awareness to it, and make it known that we disagree with that part of it. You know, the
Yeah.
idea that vampire, like when it's turned into a vampire, it loses all pigment. You can lose pigment and still be black. You know, like just like
Yeah.
my sister. For those of you that know, my sisters are both half black. Well, all my siblings are half black, except for me. But in the summer, they get super dark. Winter comes along, they get super pale, but they're still black. Like they're not
Yeah.
like it's not like it's not like they turn white. I don't know. Like I don't know. Um. So I don't know. I think that that's maybe just I don't know.
Yeah. I personally would also want to know how she would answer it.
Hmm. Well, we do know that um when they were casting Laurent, that's who Catherine Hardwicke wanted, and Catherine Hardwicke was trying to make it more diverse in all senses, which love that, praise her for wanting to do that. um and that apparently Stephenie did make a comment saying like that there can't be black vampires. So
Yeah.
don't know, not sure about like if that was actually said. And I do think that in Breaking Dawn, at least whoever Breaking Dawn Part 2, whoever directed that did a good job at, I think, having a little bit of diversity,
Yeah.
But and then even in the Volturi, they were black Volturi members, witnesses
Yeah.
that they had. So I think
What's his name? Santiago. That's what his name was, right?
I think
It was
so.
Jacob. I think it was Santiago because we didn't see Afton. We didn't see Afton. We didn't see Renata. We didn't see Chelsea, which I'm low key kind of annoyed that they completely erased Chelsea from Breaking Dawn. They were really threatened by Chelsea.
Yeah, they were. Dang, yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's any answer to that. And I think she'd be the only one to say that, but I will say that when in our book we are having every
As much.
yeah, it's everything. We are not being exclusive to only white vampires or whatever the case might be.
Yeah.
Um so the next question is from Emily Nicole, and she said, did she ever have a story on what Renee was going to be told? Wait, did she ever have a story on what Renee was going to be told? How does that play out?
Oh, like how? What was Renee gonna be told about Bella?
Mm.
Because the last we see Renee was at the wedding. So
I honestly don't think that she probably does, because if I'm being honest, I don't think Renee cares enough to know what's going on.
yeah, I don't. Yeah, I agree. That's I can't come up with anything else. I mean, I don't think she talks with Charlie a lot for Charlie to give updates.
Yeah, I was gonna
So
say that even if Charlie were to like call her and be like, "Hey, I'm worried about Bella, blah blah blah," like they're not answering my calls, that she'd be like, "Charlie, they're on honeymoon, like leave it alone." So
yeah,
I don't, probably not. And honestly, don't. I hope that she's never in the other book. Like she's just terrible.
yeah. We're not fans of Renee Dwyer on here.
Mm-mm.
So Belterra.Italy asked, "What does the Volturi do in their free time? Play foosball? I don't know. I would love to know what the Volturi are doing in their free time. We know that they're basically like a court, so they probably have to deal with like executions and they're, the judge, jury, executioner, all that. But I really think that I like to picture Dimitri, Afton, Santiago, and Felix playing Mario Kart.
Yeah, I also think that they're like players, so they're probably like, I feel like, so they're partying and like you like just doing what they want. I don't know. Maybe they play
Aro's probably
foosball.
Yeah, they probably play foosball. Aro's probably finding out a plan, spicing up some way to end the Cullens and get Alice, or maybe make a vampire human hybrid army.
Hmm. I think, yeah. I think you're gonna have to read the rest of the questions because my phone died.
Oh shoot. Okay. Cinnamon said, "Why didn't we get a book about Alice and Jasper's journey together to find the Cullens?" Um, I guess we could also say that this would kind of how we answered the one question. Like Stephenie wasn't really focused on developing the backstories with her side characters. I mean, we kind of noticed that when we did learn about their backstory, it was like that and done. There was no really much development after that.
Hmm.
Except in Midnight Sun when we get a more thorough look at it, which I appreciate. And we kind of, especially with Midnight Sun, we know more of the extent with like Alice and Jasper's journey. So I don't know, maybe that's something on her list of stories she would want to explore, but I don't know if that's something Stephenie would actually like do.
Yeah. I honestly, I don't see her writing any more prequels or anything like that, you know?
Yeah.
So probably not, but we'll take
Yeah.
whatever at this point.
Yeah. Um, Gothic with three X's said, "Why didn't Bella just get an abortion?" So, from what I know, is like with reading about like Stephenie and like her inspirations with each of the books is I believe when she was I think it was when she was pregnant or she was like at a doctor's office, she was asked like what to do if there's the option of like if we either have to save you or save the baby. Like what do we do? And that's kind of what inspired her with Bella's choice. Because it was kind of like with Bella, with how like it was like either like save Bella or she will probably die to save the baby. So that's what I read that Stephenie had said that she had gotten asked like what to do if she was pregnant and they had to either save one or the other. So that could probably fit into it. And also maybe, I don't know her stance with like pro choice, pro life. I don't want to like, make an assumption on that.
And I think the thing is, a lot of people do make kind of the assumption that she grew up Mormon, so it's probably she's pro-life. So
Yeah. Yeah. So that's, I think that was a common one that we got also. Um, yeah, we kind of, Faith DXBO said, "Why didn't she give the Quila tribe any compensation for using their culture in her books?" We already answered that
mhm.
previously. We don't know if she's done it, and also, yeah, so we don't know if she's done that.
We
But
think she should, and I think if
yeah,
I mean the Quileute tribe, I think it's still open to donations, but they have a move to higher ground donation. We put it in the links of all of our YouTube videos. You can go there and donate to them because I think where their school is and a lot of their other things is in like if they were to be a tsunami, like they would be completely wiped out. And so they want to move their tribe up to higher ground so that they can thrive and continue on with their legends. And if so, I was reading up on the Quileute tribe and I read something that their tribe used to tie canoes to the tops of trees to survive like floodings and stuff like that. So that's cool. So go
yeah,
donate to them. Go donate to them. I think that they deserve it. They definitely
they do. And Stephenie, if you haven't, you need to. You should.
you should donate, Stephenie, please.
Yes. Um, Wet Booty Fart said, "Why no sexy time scenes?" Um, well, again, Stephenie, when at the time when she read these, I mean, wrote these, she was very much like, against any like sex in her and like any kind of mature scenes. There still isn't in like her later work, like with Midnight Sun, and Life and Death, there is no actual explicit graphic, but the more like discussion about sex has been added. But I don't think we're ever gonna see a mature scene like that
No, I
in
think
her
that
work.
there's been progression in her journey with that for sure. Like we saw that in Midnight Sun and they talked about it a little bit more and we were like, well, this didn't happen in Twilight. Like they did have that conversation in Twilight, but it wasn't as like I guess intense as it was in Midnight Sun. And then in Life and Death, I mean it was like those two were so
Life and
horny.
Death.
They were so horny for each other, like bad.
I thought they were gonna. I literally, when I was reading Mind Over Matter, I honestly thought I was like, "Is Stephenie gonna give it to us? Like, is she actually gonna do it?" I was kind of low key waiting for it, but I'll take what I get. That was enough to get me like, "Oh,
I think also maybe she never really gave us like a full on sex scene. Like, because even though, like, in Breaking Dawn, like, it's not really like what I guess we would have wanted, like the raunchiness that I guess we were hoping for, but maybe more so in the previous books because like they were still teenagers, you know.
They're young.
So and that could be part of it.
Yeah. Um, we already
But
answered this
Bo
earlier.
and Edith were they were
Bo
lusting
and
after each
Edith.
other.
I want another Bo and Edith book, man. That's what I kind of want. I love
Mhm.
them. Olivia Sweeney said, "If Bella is a shield, why can Alice see her future?" Um, I made a video about this on my page a while ago. I think it was back in December or late summer. I had made like a series of videos because people were asking like questions about like things, and I was trying to answer them the best I can. From what I know with Alice's vision is, yes, Bella is a shield, but she is a mental shield. And although Alice has a psyche gift and she can see the future, she's seeing Bella make a physical decision where it's like it's Bella physically making the decision to do something. It's not like she's mentally making the decision and her thoughts are going through it.
Mhm.
So that's why it is that she's seeing Bella in the physical world make a decision. And that's why she can see Bella's future. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, because even I mean Jasper can even use his powers on Bella to
Yeah.
help her mood, to shield
Yeah.
her physically. Or
Yeah.
not, yeah. But
So yeah, I think that's what it is Alice is seeing Bella make a physical decision in the physical world, and that's why she's able to see. It's not like Edward who's trying to like read her mind.
and this
He
yeah,
can't.
because it makes sense because all the ones who all the vampires basically who have powers that control your mind, she don't work on her. The
Yeah.
the except for the like well, because she's a shield, but um like the one the girl who I forgot her name, but she can shock people like the electricity.
Oh, Kate.
Yeah, that doesn't work on Bella.
Yeah, because it's an illusion.
Mhm.
It's an
So
illusion.
all the ones who have these powers that control your mind or have to do something with your mind don't work on Bella. Aros doesn't work on Bella. Jane doesn't work on Bella. I'm not
Sabrina.
I'm not sure if Alex would work on Bella because his power is a little.
Well, I mean, Alec, we saw with Breaking Dawn, like when she had the big shield in the book, at least when she had the big shield, and like we couldn't really see his power because that's what it is. It's supposed to sneak on you and you can't see it. But apparently, it went around the bubble that she put him in. Now, I would be in wonder Maggie. Maggie has the gift to tell if people are lying. Like she can tell if they're telling the truth. I wonder if it would work on Bella because I mean, it's not like she's reading her mind like Edward, but like if she gets the sense that, and also Eleazar, he could tell that Bella was a shield because he can sense the powers of other vampires. So
Mhm.
I think if it's sensing or if it's like a physical power, it will affect Bella, but psychic and illusions won't.
Yeah. Yeah. And she has a cool power.
I do. I love Bella's power, and people say it's so weak, and I'm all like,
She could protect her
no,
entire family. What do you mean?
exactly. Um, Wannabe Fairy asked, why did Bella, I mean, not Bella, why did Alice forget her backstory and what is it?
So I think the thing with that is that over Edward said that over time you forget your human life. That
Yeah.
there's just like little things here and there that you do remember, but eventually like you forget a lot. But I think the thing with Alice is that over time she forgot a lot of things, but then also she said that when she thinks about her past, she just saw dark. And that's because Alice was put in a mental hospital and was kept in confinement. So the room that she was in was dark, and because people
And
thought,
um,
no, you continue.
I was gonna also add it was dark, and she also sustained shock therapy
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that realters your brain wiring.
because they thought she was crazy. So that's the main reason why Alex couldn't remember her past. Literally, I think she said the only thing that she remembers is waking up and like the sun like in her like like remember seeing the sun, and that's literally all she remembers.
Yeah,
I don't know, I think even I don't even think she remembers like her transformation.
I don't think so either. I'm trying to read. Alice has a very like Alice's backstory in the guide is like 5 pages. It's long. So I'm trying to see. I don't think she remembers her transformation. She might remember like the pain, but the first thing she saw when she woke up was she saw Jasper, and then she saw Carlisle.
Like
So
as a vision, right?
yeah. So, want to be fair, if you want to know her whole backstory, it's pretty long, but to give you a synopsis of it, is Alice was born and raised in a middle class family in Biloxi, Mississippi, to her parents and her sister Cynthia. And Alice had the gift of foresight when she was little, but her premonitions were not as strong as they would in her later life. And they thought her premonitions were amusing at first because they were all like, Alice is always right. But she was young, so they didn't expect anything of it. But then as she got older and her visions became more clear, she was not, she didn't want to say her predictions anymore because she didn't want them to be wrong. And also, she didn't want people to think of her as, delusional. But when she was 18, um, it was when she was 18. When she was 18 is when it took a turn for the worse because she had a vision that her mother was murdered in the woods by a stranger on her way home. When she told her mother listened to her, and they tried to, take precautions, but she even with the precautions she continued seeing different ways that her mother would die by this stranger, and eventually one day her mom was found murdered, and Alice witnessed it happen. Did she witness it happen? She witnessed it in she witnessed the vision clear that her mother had been murdered, and but when her mother had already been gone when she tried to warn her, and then they found her, and Alice's father told her to stay silent, but then Alice had the vision that she saw her father giving the man who murdered her mother money.
Mm-hmm.
So her father had hired someone to kill her mother, and then Alice was what happened? Alice had been locked up in the Alice was locked up in the mental asylum because people didn't believe her that her father was responsible, and then she would and they marked the day that she went into the asylum as her death day, and she was changed because there was an old vampire working in the facility, and when Alice got the vision of James coming after her, that's when he changed her. and Alice doesn't remember who changed her because James killed the vampire who changed her while she was transforming, and that's why she woke up alone.
Yeah, I think if you guys want to see that in a like visual context, they have like the storytellers on YouTube, and they do like like these little stories about the Cullens that Stephenie gave us in the illustrated guide, and kind of turned them into like a little video. It's like a little mini movie. There's one about Jane and Alec and Aro, and there's one about Alice and Jasper, and there's one about Alice, and there's a lot. So they're great. You guys should go watch them if you haven't already.
I love them. So hope that answers your question, Wannabe Fairy, and I would recommend also getting the illustrated guide if you can find your hands on it, because it has a lot of cool stuff and it tells pretty much in depth all the backstories of the Cullens. So Honkella said, "Is Edward based off a real life crush of hers?" Um,
Mm.
well, for one thing, Stephenie was married. Well, is married, and she was married when she wrote Twilight. But kind of based on Edward's description and the fact that Stephenie was a big My Chemical Romance fan, a lot of people assume that Gerard Way is who Edward is kind of like based off of.
Yeah. Which just the fact that Stephenie's uh a My Chemical Romance fan is just it's a little off-putting. It's not very expected.
I would never have expected it.
But yeah, I think they think that Edward is, yeah, I guess. But I don't know if his personality is anything like Gerard Way.
No, no, no. Maybe his
So
physical description, but I would not say his personality.
yeah, I know.
Edward's
Hmm. Wow.
um Aw, it's a baby said, "Do you ship me with Alice Cullen?" Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Period. Alice Cullen, you guys would be a power couple. Joy M646 said, "Why in the world we can't have New Moon in Edward's point of view?" I agree.
Yeah, I think Stephenie said that is because it was like too depressing for her to write.
Yeah, she said that she gets very anxious when she writes in Edward's point of view because he overthinks everything.
Yeah. So I get it, but also ugh.
Um, there that we've already answered that. Sabrina said, "Why are all the Cullens white?" Well, that can kind of go with what we answered earlier. Stephenie, I wouldn't know what Stephenie would say. I don't know what Stephenie would avoid the question, or she would give a reason that
I think okay, like if we're really trying to analyze it, let's say Carlisle was white. Is a white man.
yeah.
He was from London. I mean, he could be a black man from London, but at the time that Carlisle was grew up in was not very inclusive of every race. So that there's one, right? I think if he was literally just trying to start a family, he could maybe not have started a family as people could to pass as his children, even if they're adopted, because we have to remember that the even though they're adopted, like they still have to pass as siblings because in some way they are related, because what was it that like the color like Edward and Alice were like his nephews and niece or something like that, or
Oh,
or is that
Rosalie.
Rosalie and Jasper. So Rosalie, like if Carlisle automatically had to be white, Rosalie and Jasper would have to be white because they're his nephews and niece, I guess just to like pass. Um that's I, I guess, like if you're trying to really analyze it, and it's, I guess that would be it.
Yeah, and with like the time periods she chose for each of them and like with their like background with like their family background. I mean, Rosalie's father was bank a bank worker in the 1930s who was privileged in the 1930s, white family.
Yeah.
Alice, she was middle class family in Biloxi in the 1920s. Who would that typically fall under? So
Yeah.
that's one way to analyze it.
Definitely. Yeah, that definitely is one way to think about it is, well, think about, who was more privileged at the time. And so I think it's one of those things that she never did. I don't think she really thought it through.
Yeah.
Definitely did not think that through, I don't think. But I mean, it does go with our other question. You will never know. I think that definitely a lot of it, maybe I think a lot of them could have been people of color. But it's just, I think it's just the backstory she had for them did not really coincide with that. I mean, so it's just like
Yeah.
it's just a sticky situation, sticky road, um, thing to for her to probably even navigate herself, I guess.
Yeah.
And even at the time, I mean, at the time that she was writing it, the 2000s, like people didn't really think about stuff like that. And I don't know if she really thought about it like that. And today's narrative is a lot different than the 2000 narrative. So I think the
Yeah.
only thing that she can do now is try to be more inclusive in her next projects. And that's it.
Yeah. I haven't read The Chemist. So I have yet to see how because The Chemist came out in like 2016. So I'm interested to see how her work progressed from then. The Host was in like 2000 what 10. Um I don't remember much about The Host. I have to reread it. So
Yeah.
we
And
have like
I mean, who knows? I don't know. Well, I guess those are things. These are things that we will for probably be forever guessing. You
yeah.
know, and I think that honestly, I'm I think that you have to be the right person to um to write about certain topics or certain things and like be accurate and apathetic to people, and I don't know if Stephenie is that person
Yeah.
because she made Jasper a Confederate soldier, like that's not really
I don't
being.
know what was in her head when she wrote that. I'm surprised we didn't get that question.
Knows why was Jasper a Confederate soldier. Yeah, we didn't get that.
Yeah, we only have a few left. Hold on, we have one, two, three, four, five. We only have five because there's like two that we kind of already answered, but none of them asked that. I'm surprised no one asked that.
Yeah, that's our question. Stephenie, why is Jasper a Confederate soldier?
God, that's God forbid I meet her in real life because I don't know how I'm gonna act.
I think the worst part about Jasper being Confederate soldier is that he lied about his age to be a Confederate soldier.
Exactly. You could like she literally could have just been like he could have just been like it was a time I had to I was of age. That's all she had to. But the fact that she wrote in that
He
he
wanted to.
he wanted to and he lied. It's like why what it's like I can't defend you with that. There's no
No,
way.
none.
Mm. So continuing on, we got Emma KB. said, in the last movie, how could Alice see Renesmee's future with Jacob if she can't see past wolves? Now, I did see in an interview that Stephenie, when she was asked about when she was talking about the vision battle with Breaking Dawn, like she was all like, we had to break the rules because the wolves are involved, but she didn't really comment on the final vision scene with Jacob and Renesmee in the future. I think she would probably say something along the lines of Alice, when she was gone, she was able to progress her vision. And from being around Jacob so long, when Jacob was there, and like when Leah and Seth were there protecting Bella, that being around them made it easier. So I would say that.
I would say that, yeah, I think that, or she would probably even say something like, well, technically it's not about Jacob's future, it's Renesmee's future.
Yeah.
So that could be another
Or
way.
even or even with that last vision scene, we see Bella and Edward. So it could even be like Bella and Edward's future. And there it just
Mm,
happened to be it.
yeah. Mom?
That's an interesting take because I've also always wondered about that.
Mm-hmm.
Iona Cullen said, "What do you dream about?" So what do you think Stephenie dreams about?
Hmm. I don't know. Maybe I think she dreams about whatever she's writing.
Yeah, like whatever she's writing or story inspirations.
Yeah, because I think that even like when you are immersing yourself into a whole like different world, like you kind of like really do it. And I think that that's probably something that when she's like writing something, she's like in that world. So that's probably what she dreams about. I wouldn't also be surprised if Stephenie has like a DR, like a dream reality, and she's just I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
I think that she probably just dreams about what she's writing about at the moment. Or yeah.
yeah, I agree. I would want to know what she's dreaming about.
Yeah, because I mean
Um,
she did dream about Edward and Bella basically. So,
yeah, she dreamed the meadow. Who knows? Maybe she had something about the host, and that's what inspired the host.
mhm. I mean, I
Whatever
think a
she's
lot
dreaming
a
about
lot of
right now.
people could do that is like if you maybe that's my recommendation this week. Real spontaneous, but if you have a dream, because sometimes people have wild ass dreams. Like if you have a dream and you remember it vividly, write it down and find a way to like make a story out of that.
I have an outline for a book I want to write sometime in the future that was based on a dream. So just you never know what the future may hold with
Yeah,
stories. Dreams are like stories that are waiting to be written.
there
That's
you
how I like
go.
to think. Your friend Hovind said, "How the fuck did Edward get Bella pregnant? Like he's a vampire. It doesn't work like that." Say your pace. I'm gonna find something.
Yeah, I think what I've heard and what I've seen and what we've discussed is that every fluid in a vampire's body is replaced with venom, and that is why that so his blood that was used and he still has human needs, right? So his blood that would be used to get him aroused is replaced by venom, and that is why.
Oh, I oh god, this topic just makes me want to scream whenever we like have talked about it because it's just like oh. So the illustrated guide states vampire fluids because we're on vampire anatomy with like physical characteristics. It says internally, the vampire system contains many venom based fluids that resemble and, in some cases, perform the same function as the human fluids that were replaced. Only the saliva like liquid in the vampire's mouth is venomous. A fluid similar to this venom works as a lubricant between the hard cells of the skin, making movement possible. Another lubricants the vampire's eye so they can move easily in their sockets. However, vampires do not produce tears, as tears exist to protect the eye from damage by small foreign objects, and those objects would not be able to harm the vampire's eye. Throughout the body, this pattern is repeated, with venom like fluids performing the functions that are still necessary to the vampire. Most notably absent is the circulatory system. So, basically, when Edward and Bella did the nasty, when Edward climaxed and shot whatever it was into Bella, it was a venom like fluid that basically replaced semen. And it was able to still have his DNA in it. And that fertilized Bella's egg.
Yes.
I don't know why I get so ill at this topic.
I think maybe because it makes you think of like the other sexual acts that are could be involved, and you're just like, what? Like, why is that but I guess go off, Stephenie.
That answers your question. I'm sorry if you're as horrified as we are at times. Moving on. Sarah's Fab said, "Why did you make Jacob Black, aka the Imprinter?" Plot device. I think she
Yeah.
didn't want his own. She wanted him to have purpose, I guess.
Yeah, it only made sense, I guess, in the context of how her story was going, you know?
Yeah. Um, chill, childy land 08 said, "Do the Cullen kids move out and live in their own house?" Well, we know Rosalie and Emmett have, and they like to.
And
I
Bella
would,
and Edward.
yeah, Bella, Edward, they have their own cottage. I would say Jasper and Alice probably. I wouldn't say I feel like Jasper and Alice are like the couple that they wouldn't move out, but they would probably go on long trips together
Mm-hmm.
to have like
Yeah.
time away.
I think that Alice likes to be near her family because she can be there when they like she can tell them what she sees and it might be important, you know?
Yeah. And then our last one, because the second to last one we've kind of already answered. The second to last one, I Livy simply said, "Why?" I mean, yeah, I want to know that too. Why, Stephenie? Why?
Because Gerard Way.
Gerard Way and her sister. Her sister's the one that told her she should publish it.
Mm-hmm. So that
That
is
is the
why. That I love that that's the last one is just why.
why. Um, so that's all questions that we have for today. So, is there anything, Raven, that you would ask Stephenie Meyer if you had the chance to?
Mm, I would ask her why she hasn't addressed any of the more controversial topics or things that people have brought up because there's like a saying kind of it's like when someone doesn't like it's like YouTuber drama, right? Like if someone accuses them of something and they don't say anything, it makes them kind of look more guilty than if they would if they did say something. Because like when you
Yeah.
at least when you say something, there's like an effort showing that like a record of you saying like, oh no, that's not true. But
Yeah.
there hasn't been any record of her saying anything, you know? So that's what I would probably ask her. And then I would probably follow it up with what is your what's your writing process or something like that. Like I'm very interested to see the writing process of other authors, um and to see how that is different than compare and whatever, you know? What about
Yeah.
you? What questions would you have for Stephenie?
I would ask her, um, hmm, I don't know. I think we kind of, I mean, a lot of the questions that people sent in, and like what you said, I agree with, and I would probably ask her the same. I would probably also want to ask her, like, if any of her future works, she plans to, like, be more diverse, be more open, try to, like, include and be authentic if she does include it. Like, don't just, like, I want to know, like, if she would be more open with her work and, like, not, and like you said, not kind of be radio silent when she's addressed with controversies. Because
Yeah.
it's like, I just want to know, like, what's going through her head.
I think maybe her fear might be similar to something that like J.K. Rowling has gone through, because J.K. Rowling has actually done the opposite of what she should do. Like she was given these like controversial topics and then kind of was like, "Oh yeah, that's true. Like I'm a terrible person." So maybe she just
Yeah.
like she doesn't want to.
Yeah. I think J.K. Rowling, she was just so like, well, it's like, do you want me to be honest or do you want me to make up a lie? And I'm glad she was honest because we got to see, oh, you really suck.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, you made one of my favorite series of all time. That is like my escape getaway, but girl,
Yeah.
mm-mm.
Maybe it's like a fear of cancellation, or I don't know.
Or shame. Maybe it's like she's ashamed, she's embarrassed, which honestly, like, I don't want to sound bitchy, but it's like you probably should feel a little bit ashamed if, like, you did something that hurt people, hurt a whole group of people, and continues to, and you're not addressing it.
Mhm. I would,
So,
yeah. Oh, I would like to ask if she would ever plan on releasing Forever Dawn.
you know what? I think she should do that just like for the hell of it.
It should be like
Or maybe,
a like one of the an
like,
anniversary like surprise, you know?
yeah, and maybe not even do a lot of it. Maybe just do it like like have it be like a collector's thing. Like only publish a few like hundred and a couple several hundred, and then that's it.
Mhm.
I do kind of don't want her to make any more money off of profiting with the Quila having, we don't know if she has even compensated them. So
Yeah. At least when you go, like if you go buy a book at like thrift books or something else, you're not really profiting her. So that's
yeah.
a plus. So if you guys are looking for like Twilight books, go to your thrift stores. They have tons.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh my god. um I was just at Books a Million yesterday because I got three new books. Because I because what I was looking for they didn't have. But I always look at the bargain first, and Midnight Sun and New Moon was on bargain. I was
yeah.
very tempted. I was kind of tempted because I was like, "Ooh, do I need?" It was a paperback of New Moon, and I was like, do I want another new moon? Because I have the hardcovers and then I have the white in paperback, but it's all like I kind of want them in paperback too. So
I have a full paperback set and I just need a New Moon hardcover to like complete that one. And then
mhm.
I want to get another hardcover set so that I can have one on display and then I can have one with the dust covers that Emily gave me.
Yeah, I need to because Kat I don't know if when she's gonna send it, but I had, given her when she went to that one thing to get me a copy of Breaking Dawn. So now I'll have two hardcovers of Breaking Dawn. So I'll need to get another
Oh.
set.
You know, I should have told her that. I was like, I didn't even think about that, but I was so busy like moving that I was not even thinking about that. Wow.
Well,
So many questions
there,
for Stephenie.
yeah. Is there anything you would like to add before I give my book rec and we call it a day?
No, I think that's it.
That's it. All right, y'all. Welcome to another edition of Ree's Weekly Read. And again, I have two book recs for y'all because I have read a lot of books this month, which is why I've kind of like on like TikTok and just everywhere. I haven't been active because I have like been really into like reading, and I'm like, oh my god, I have to get the next book because I finished the first one. But I have two. Well, this isn't one's a part of a series. The other one's a standalone. First is Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda. If you've seen Love, Simon, this is what this book is based. That movie's based on this book. Um, this was so cute, and it's a quick read. It's just under 300 pages. You follow Simon, who is um he's gay, he's in the closet, nobody knows except the person he has been contacting via email named Blue, and because Blue is also gay and nobody knows, but they've remained anonymous. And basically it starts off with Simon. He is blackmailed by a classmate who saw his emails and is threatening to out him if he doesn't help him get set up with one of Simon's friends. So it was a really cute story, and I definitely want to see the movie after this. And there's
I
also like that, you've seen it?
Yeah, I've seen the movie. It's a tearjerker for sure. It's like
Yeah,
one of
this
those
was
cute too, yeah.
Yeah, oh, I really like this. I know that Becky Albertalli, this is like one of the Simon verse because she also has like other characters in like the world with Simon that she goes through, and so I need to get the others. But I highly recommend, guys. It's so cute. And then the second one the second one is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. Have you heard of this one?
I've seen a lot of TikToks about it. After I saw your TikTok and I liked it, I started getting a lot of TikToks about it. But I've heard it's a crier.
So I've had books that made me cry. I have never cried, a good bit over a story like this. And it's like between the story, the ending, and then the author's note that Colleen wrote, I was amazed the writing of it. I saw a lot of people on TikTok talking about this book, and I wasn't sure if I was gonna read it. But because I'm not really into stories that the main focus is romance. I usually like action and fantasy, but if they have a romance story, then I enjoy it. But
I
what
like the more romance stories.
then I think you would like this and anything Colleen Hoover has written because
Mm.
I think I'm gonna get the rest. I want the rest of her books. Because this was just I'm just gonna read the back. It says sometimes the one who loves you is the one who hurts you the most. And it says Lily hasn't always had it easy, but that's never stopped her from working hard for the life she wants. She's come a long way from the small town in Maine where she grew up. She graduated from college, moved to Boston, and started her own business. So when she feels a spark with a gorgeous neurosurgeon named Ryle Kincaid, everything in Lily's life suddenly seems almost too good to be true. Ryle is assertive, stubborn, maybe even a little arrogant. He's also sensitive, brilliant, and has a total soft spot for Lily, but Ryle's complete aversion to relationships is disturbing. As questions about her new relationship overwhelm her, so do thoughts of Atlas Corrigan, her first love and a link to the past she's left behind. He was her kindred spirit, her protector. When Atlas suddenly reappears, everything Lily has built with Ryle is threatened. With this bold and deeply personal story, well, then that's like with Colleen Hoover, delivers a heart wrenching story. I It's so good. It's so good. Because it's like Lily and Ryle they meet and they have an instant connection, like an instant attraction and all that. But they want to do different things in life. He's not someone who wants a relationship. He wants to focus on his career. He's never wanted to get married, have kids. He's more of a one night stand kind of guy. But she is someone who she wants a relationship. She wants that. She wants to go through the journey of life with a partner. And you go through their story, and then you have Lily looking back at her past, and her past is, not all rainbows and colors because she had an abusive father who was only abusive toward her mother. And and then Atlas was the boy who she kind of saved, and they fell in love but then parted ways after something had happened. And I'm just like, the first sentence really got me, and I was all like, okay. It's like the first sentence says, as I sit here with one foot on either side of the ledge, looking down from 12 stories above the streets of Boston, I can't help but think about suicide. And
Wow.
but then, so it just starts off strong. But then she said, not my own. I like my life enough to want to see it through. I'm more focused on other people and how they ultimately come to the decision to just end their own lives. And I'm just all like, to start off like that, oh my god,
Yeah.
I really think you would like this. And
I'm gonna have to make a trip to Barnes and Nobles tomorrow, I think.
yes, you may find it cheaper on. See, I got this on Amazon for like $10. When I went to Barnes and Noble yesterday, no, not Barnes and Noble. When I went to Books a Million, it was kind of like almost 15. But
Mm.
maybe Barnes and Noble will be cheaper because I noticed that Barnes and Noble is a little cheaper than Books a Million.
Well, I have a membership card and my teacher discount card. So
Get it, get it. I think you would like this. I would love to hear what you think about it. I have never cried. I cried at the end, but then 2 hours later, I could not stop thinking about it, and I start crying again.
okay, I have to go get it. Well,
So,
yay. I actually because when we moved, I had a bookshelf at my mom's and I had to like put all my books up. I got like a 6 drawer bookshelf from Walmart. Like it was cheap,
ooh,
right? And it's like I don't have room on it, like at all.
oh my gosh.
So I think, and then like even for some of my Twilight stuff, I'm like, oh yikes! Like I think I'm gonna have to. Like, my Twilight stuff right now is taking up 2 shelves, and it's like that's because not all of it is like completely on display, like of how I like want it. So I think I'm gonna have to go get another book.
I felt that I might need a new one too, because mine's after I got the white collection, um, and my friend got me the Six of Crows duology for graduation. I don't have enough room.
Yeah. Well, oh Lord, yeah. Twilight collections. That's a lot. Actually, I think I did a time lapse of me setting it up, and I was gonna post it on TikTok, but it's very slow. It's like it's very fast. It's like 20 seconds long.
Oh, well,
Maybe like
Shot app.
yeah.
You can slow it down in the InShot app.
I'll probably do that then. Cause but in the video you can see like I like would put something up on my Twilight shelves and I'd look at it and be like, no, and I'd like take it off and like it was yeah, but yeah, maybe I'll post that. I want to do an apartment tour on TikTok soon because I made that video with my sister and it went a little viral. And people were like, "Can we have an apartment tour?" And I was like, "Well, now that I have like decorations up and stuff, I was like, I have to do one." So yeah,
Yes, for that video.
yeah. Okay, well, that's it, guys. That was the end of this
Okay.
episode. We hope you enjoyed it. Um,
Yeah.
Follow us on all of our social medias at Instagram, TikTok is at the Bite Podcast RR. Actually, I think we're like like 6 or 4 followers away from 600 followers on TikTok. So if you're not following us on TikTok, go follow us on TikTok. And if you're following us on TikTok and you're not following us on Instagram, go follow us on Instagram. Um, if we can find our podcast on Spotify, Breaker, Google Podcasts, tons of streaming platforms, and then you can watch our live version on YouTube, um, where you could like see us and see our like expressions or Ree's One Direction posters. uh or all of Ree's posters. But yeah, so it's always a great time over on the YouTube. And yeah, we hope you guys enjoy. I think our next episode we're actually gonna watch the 4th episode of Loki.
I gotta watch episode 3. I'm gonna do that
You
tomorrow.
you're gonna die.
I like okay. I was so busy. I was like busy yesterday because I have been going through my stuff to like clean out and all that, and also I had my party. So I've been cleaning up decorations and stuff. So I haven't been able to watch the 3rd episode. So I'm gonna do that.
To watch it. Okay, just so you know, because my sisters use my Disney Plus, and I made an account for them called the Rats, and it's like the rat from Ratatouille, and I put like the rat, so you can use Carlos or theirs because they don't watch Marvel or anything like that. Um,
Okay.
but I wanted maybe a little hint, but I don't think there's there's no after credits, but people were doing analysis of the end credits to the thing, and there's a lot of nines with circles around it. Like it's a 9 in a circle. So people are speculating that there might be 9 episodes instead.
Oh my god! Please.
Mhm. So then there was an interview with Tom Hiddleston, and they were like, "What is the turning point, or what episode are you excited for viewers to see?" And they were like, "Don't say the first one just because it's the season premiere." And he was like, "Honestly, the episode takes the show takes a turn that people probably are not expecting in episodes 4 and 5. So 4 is gonna." Mhm.
No, I'm not ready.
4 is gonna be wild. 4 is coming out Wednesday. Should we do like what time does it come out like on Disney Plus? Like at midnight or like
It's I think midnight Pacific time, so it'd be like 3 a.m. my time.
oh okay.
Or
I was
may I'd
like
have to check. Yeah, I think I'll have to see because with the time zones and everything, or I don't know if it's like not available. Because don't you have to like set your Disney Plus to whatever time zone you're in? I don't know if you do that.
I don't know if I did that, but if I did, I should probably change it to the Pacific.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
So
okay. Well then we'll watch it and we'll probably that's our next episode, guys. So we'll probably end up dying, but we'll figure it out. Okay, well, that is it, guys. So we'll see you next time. Bye.
next time.
Peace out.